Aloha, everyone. This is another Freedom to Feel conversation, and my guest today is Debra FoFeet Waring. She walks the boundary between tangible service and transcendent artistry. A nurse care manager by profession, a spiritual alchemist by calling, a spoken word artist and poet, Reiki Master Teacher, spirit led stories, radio show host. She's the author of FoFeet Fables, Uplifted from the Fifth. It bridges clinical compassion and creative vision to uplift our souls. So, thank you so much, Deborah, for saying yes to this conversation today here with me. This is what I live for. I just love these conversations. Off record, on record, doesn't matter. It's all the same. So the full bio will be at the end. The question that I love asking everyone when I open these interviews is, how would you introduce yourself? Who is Deborah in this very moment?
Deborah, in this very moment, is a creative work of my creator. And I am placed where I am to create
Mm,
because I feel that things around us get away from people. They get away from until you call their attention to it. The trees with different colored leaves may not be something that you just look at and watch it, but when you look at it
mm,
and use the metaphor of a family, the
yeah.
children are produced, they grow, and they move on to their own families. So that's like a tree with the leaves falling, and they come
Mm,
back and they make the family strong. Something like that is something that you just don't pay attention to because it's just beautiful trees. But when you really think about it and compare it with life, that's poetry.
yes. Wow. So in a sense, life is poetry. Everything is poetry. It's just how open we are, how open we are to be creative with, right, life itself. How much are we willing to dance with
Right.
this beautiful creation? um
Yes.
yeah, it's so true. how did you how did you uncover this gift? Is that something that you're born
Wow.
with, or yeah, it was a craft?
Well, it is something that we're born with and we use it unknowingly. I
Right.
was in when I started writing poetry, I was in my last I finished my last semester of nursing school. I
Right.
was a late bloomer. I didn't get my
Mhm.
nursing degree until I was 42, I think.
Yeah.
And in between, I had finished my class and I was flirting with a friend of mine who's a golfer. And I said, "You got to teach me golf." He said, "Does golf bring you joy? Does it give you the euphoria?" He said, "You don't, do you know what does it that you do that makes you just takes you away?" And I
Hmm.
thought about it. In school, we had to write about our last. I was an LPN transitioning to become an RN, and we had to use the experiences of the LPN cases, and we had to write different scenarios on spiritual, social, medical, the family as a unit. So when I was doing that, I would get lost doing my homework, writing these essays about life and what I had done and how the people reacted. And I said, wow. But I
Mm.
never thought of it as something that took me away. But I would start at 8 in the evening and I wouldn't finish sometime until 1 in the morning because I'd be so into it and didn't even think about it.
Mm.
And he said, "Well, why don't you write a book?" I said, "That takes too long.
Yeah.
I'm a Gemini and I want it now." So he
Yes.
said, "Well, try
Totally.
poetry." I forgot about flirting and I started writing. And within 2 months, I had like 60 poems.
Yeah.
And I thought
Wow.
this is easy. But
Yeah.
as I kept writing and I kept writing,
Mm.
they kept coming and they kept coming and they never stopped. And that was in
Mhm.
uh 1996. I've been writing since then.
Wow, how wonderful. That's that's something that we all need a taste of, in my opinion. This connection to his spirit, this connection to our own hearts and soul, this freedom to of expression. I just wanted to create. And with that in mind, Deborah, we talked off record, but talk to me about the 2 feet on earth and 2 feet in spirit. I would love, I mean, the audience would love to hear more
Well,
about.
actually, I'm 4'11", and I was on the dance floor, and this guy said, "Hey, little woman," he said,
Mhm.
"You moving too fast to be 4'11". That's almost normal height.
Right.
He said, "I'm gonna call you FoFeet." So that's where I
Mhm.
got the name.
Yeah.
But when I started writing, I need a handle. That was the only thing that represented me.
Mm,
So I said, well, I'm gonna just do FoFeet, FoFeet. And I was writing one day, and I said that name sounds weird. And I heard, just like I do my poetry,
mm,
that it stands for how I hear poetry.
right,
2 feet on earth, so I can stay grounded. 2 feet in spirit, because that's where the knowledge is.
right.
And when they come together, when I get on the
Mm,
microphone, it's
mm.
4 feet deep, 4 feet deep in truth and reality.
Wow, that's beautiful. Do
Thank you.
you wow, that's true. I mean, that's so inspiring that that you kind of you're open to follow that invitation. Most people, I well for myself too, we have a tendency to doubt a lot of times those
Yeah.
truth inner voice in us. So what is your kind of suggestion for those people who are always doubting their creativity, the inspiration, to be more of that potential that they have within their hearts? What would you suggest to them?
Well, being a woman that like to get out and adventure, I would
Right.
say take small steps. I would, when I wrote all of these poems in such a short time, I would read them to my friends, and they would say, "Oh, that's nice. You
Mm,
wrote that?" I said, "Yeah.
mm,
You need to let other people hear it." Well,
mm.
see, I didn't. I said, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
So they said, "Go to an open mic." So I went to open mic, and I got on the mic for the first
Mm,
time. Unfortunately, I went on a night when there was only about 3 people there, but that was good. And I kept going, and the crowds kept getting bigger
mhm.
and bigger, and there were good reactions to my poetry. I said, I'm on to something. Yeah. So I just kept it up and kept it up, and I found so much joy just doing it. And I had a poetry master named Eugene B. Redmond, Professor Eugene B. Redmond. He has a writing school in East St. Louis,
Right.
and I would go. I went during the summer when school was out, because it was a club,
Right.
and he helped me to craft, make it mine. He said you have to
Mm,
listen to other people, you
mm,
have to read other poets, and when you find the one that nurtures you,
mm,
that's the one you'll find out that you will start to emulate. And
mm.
from the emulation and my own creation, it will become, I will be creating my own. So I found my voice, my poet voice,
Right.
working with him.
Wow, how beautiful. I love that too. So small steps, keep going, keep moving forward, and have a guide, right? Guidance is very
Yes,
important. Yes,
yes,
the coach and
yes.
guide. I mean, I love they all resonate with me deeply, yeah, in real life. So let's talk about your book because I have too many questions here, way too many questions. So, FoFeet Fables, Uplifted from the Fifth. Can you talk to me about the title a little bit more? I know you explained 4 feet, the meaning. I love that too. From the fifth. So yeah, I would love to hear the story about the title in itself first.
Well, the fifth was the church that I attended at that time.
Right.
It was it was a spiritualist church, and I spent 10 years there communicating with my spiritual self.
Right,
And
right,
it being a poet, um, we did okay. Starting at the church, we would do spiritual festivals, and in
mm,
those festivals, people would come in. That's how we would make money to keep the church going. People
right,
would come in. They would pay a certain amount,
mm,
25, $35, and they would sit down to with a not a medium, but a um I can't think of the name. It's not a, to sit down with someone to give them a message.
right,
Um, from doing this, one time I think it was 2011, my messages came out in poetry,
yeah, ah,
and I would write the poem, give it to the person, and that would be their message.
right,
And the way it came to me was people would be taught. You ask people questions.
mm, mm,
Tell me something exciting that you can
mhm,
always turn to when you feel sad. Okay.
right,
And as they were telling me, I was hearing the spiritual message, but it came out in poetry. So I would put it in my little word processor
yeah,
and print it on pretty paper and give it to them. But they also gave me a release in case I wanted to use it in a book. So I got their release. And after a couple of Saturdays of doing that, I found out, wow, this was amazing. I had never heard poetry like that.
right,
So I started asking my friends, can I write a poem for you and put it in my book?
mm,
And they said, well, what you want to write about? I said, just tell me something, tell me a memory, just tell me something that you would like to express, that
right,
you would like put into a book that people can read.
right,
So I did that for about 20, 25 of my friends, and along with the people that did the messages with. Some of them I have two poems of them. Some of them I
mm,
have one. Some of them have three. I
yeah,
have couples.
yeah,
How spiritual couples, and the thing I found about writing these poems is they were messages for these people that they had no idea what it was, but it was a part of them that was revealed to me in that message.
right,
This one lady say, I love poetry, but I don't always understand it. Well,
mm,
if it was written for a certain person, then somebody else may not understand it.
right,
So I was led to I thought of Aesop fables. I said, that's just a narrative.
yeah,
So what I did with each poem, I wrote a fable so other people could understand what it was
mm,
about. And
mm,
maybe they could see themselves in that poem, or
yeah,
somebody they knew in that poem. That's
right,
why I call it personal poetry with a purpose.
right,
The Fifth
oh,
Spiritualist Church is the name of the church that I was attending at the time.
right,
And that's where this book became, God worked with me, and that's why this book became uplifted, because I would read them the poetry that they got or they read, and they said, wow, you could see their face light up. So it's uplifted.
ah. What's not to love about it? I always say that. What's not to love about this? So it's really the work of, it's almost like this co-creation, right? God and then the human mind, the human heart, spirit, soul, just kind of coming together in alignment. That's what it feels to me. And
Exactly.
then everything else comes together. Everything else just happens by design because now we are in alignment with that energy that I call resonance with the divine.
Yes.
So the cover is, I mean, I love the colors. Is that something, did you create the cover too? Did you give some ideas? Is that something that you
Yes.
contributed?
The cover, when I told them I wanted, first of all, I had my picture on there.
Yeah.
And I said, I want my picture to be taken off.
Uh,
Take my picture off, the front and the back. I said, it's uplifted. So I wanted a mountain coming through clouds and the
Yes.
sun shining.
Mm.
That's the image I wanted people to see. And the colors, I guess purple and pink are my colors, you know. They just
Yeah, I love
picked that. I said, I love it.
them.
So
Yes.
it's just amazing how things come together.
Yes,
How
it
things
is. It is, Deborah. And it looks really, really, really beautiful. And just the cover itself, by looking at it, kind of gives you this uplift. You feel joyful just by looking at it, isn't it?
Thank you.
Interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really inspiring already. So let's talk about something that. Oh, I want to ask. I have to ask more questions about the book, of
Okay.
course, before we move forward. I have so many questions here. So the poems in the book. Do you have one a poem that's written um, in a sense that has touched you so profoundly? Because I know you get this inspiration, but then I'm wondering if there is a poem or poems that kind of changed your life, changed your path, even because.
Well, there are quite a few because each one takes on a personality that everybody knows.
Right.
Everybody knows somebody. But I think there are two
Mm,
that really make a person think.
mm, mm.
And I think one of my favorite ones is called When I Was Steve.
Right. I would love to hear it if you don't mind. Oh, yeah.
Of course,
Maybe
just
at
let
the
me
end.
know when and I'll pull it up.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's two. One is Carla. Excuse me, Carla. No, mind me, Carla. Excuse me, Carla. Wait a minute, which one is it? 116.
Hmm.
Mind me, Carla.
I'm calm.
Mind me, Carla.
Right.
Would you like to hear it?
I would love to. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excuse me for saying I see you. I remember when you were younger and I cared for your needs. I held your hand when you were small, guided your direction when life's issues called. You're grown into a wonderful person. Life has placed me in your spirit, seeing and being your parent. Just don't mind me for saying you're still my baby boy.
Mm,
Excuse me for saying don't forget, yet you never do. I still like to see your smile, remembering me, reminding me of your wonderful wit. Laughing at your jokes makes me choke.
mm,
All grown up and taller than I am, you are still the little boy. I put on the first grade bus. Ready now to walk in cap and gown down the aisle. Just don't mind me for saying you're still my baby boy.
mm.
Speaking as your mom, I'll always be there. Addressing you as spirit, I'll never leave. When you don't see me, when you think you don't need me, I'll be there anyway. Day in, day out. Just don't mind me for saying you're still my baby boy.
Ah,
That's the poem.
yes. And
And the fable to
mm,
that poem
yeah.
is, as parents growing with our children, feeling their pains, wishes, dreams, and accomplishments, takes us outside of ourselves to look at them and know they are a little piece of love growing in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
Then they grow up and you wonder, what happened to my baby? Well, some mothers think that I cannot speak for a father because I'm not one, okay?
Mm, yeah.
I haven't written that book yet or that poem. Have
Right.
you having to say it's time to move on is not easy for a mom to do with her son or daughters or their daughter. We wish to see them with success in the world, yet we do not want to actually let them go. Knowing we must, we do, kicking and screaming all the way.
Mhm.
And yet, there comes a time when each parent and child must cut the strings and let go, change the parameter of the relationship, and learn to feel the moment with new expressions of growing up items. Okay, you cannot comb her hair
Mhm.
for school in the morning
Huh.
or stop him from wearing the socks with holes in the toes, but you can guide her through baking her first turkey dinner, and you can remind him to separate and use bleach on the white clothes only. It's not easy, but it can be done.
Mhm.
It's letting go and moving on. We parents must allow our babies to grow and face life and the world as we taught them. Know that know that they are not ours to keep, but are gifts from God to raise, love, and teach to be good people, to help and serve the world in which we live. Remember, God takes them farther than we can. He brought them to us. Let's
Mhm.
go and let God in the secret that is not secret.
Wow. Yes. Of course, I take that you're a mother and you wrote this for your boy, for your kids.
Actually,
Oh no.
this was written for Carla, who
Ah.
had was who expressed her her pain of letting her son grow up, and the
Ah.
difference in when he how he needed her when she was young, and she
Right.
was coming to a change in her life where he was about to graduate from high school, and she still didn't want to let him go, and he would fuss because I'm not a baby anymore, mom. She
Mhm.
was telling him, you may not be a baby, but you'll always be my baby, and don't fuss when I say you still my boy, my baby boy.
Yes. Yes. And that's something that every mother will resonate with. The ones who care, of course, the ones that are very close to their children and they care. Yes, yes. I love how, like you mentioned this earlier, so you have the poem and there you have the story, the fable. That is such a great idea because it's so true that a lot of people have heard many times, including I would say myself, that I read a poem and I don't understand. I'm like, oh, I don't really understand. I don't really know what the message is exactly. So that's a wonderful idea. I love the way you did that. That's one of the things that I appreciate too in storytelling in general when it has too many meanings and metaphors. So that's important for people. It becomes more accessible, right, Deborah? That's
Yes.
and that's what we need. This is page 16. Is that page 16 in your book? Full Feet Fables Uplifted. Page 16 or the 17? 16, right?
Wait, let me see. The note, let me page 13, 14. 16 is a page. What I do is the book is a poem, a fable, and I've got 3 pages behind the fable for people to write their thoughts.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah,
Everybody has an opinion
right.
about everything.
True.
This
So true.
this gives
Yeah.
the owner of the book permission to write their thoughts about whatever they want. And
Mm.
nobody can say anything about it but you. It's like a workbook.
Right. Oh, how wonderful. So it's almost co-writing. You become like a
Yes.
co-author. How beautiful is it? You see, that's a very compassionate. I think about compassion, and I know that comes from also your background as a nurse. Would you say that, yeah, talk to me about that, the work that you do as an artist, as a poet, and an author, and as a nurse, how do you combine them, and what are the elements that
Oh,
you
wow.
combine?
You know, at one point, it was getting hard to write nurses' notes without making them into poetry.
Right, Right. Right.
That was kind of, I had to
Um,
catch myself. Say, wait a minute, this is not a poem.
right.
But I think the humanism in me, the humanity, the caring, and the wanting to see things
Mm,
better
mm,
came from being a nurse
right.
and seeing people as spirit, seeing people as having their own spirit
Mm,
is what made it easy to write the poetry because I treated each person like they were individuals. Yet, when all of the poetry come together, they speak to everybody.
yes.
After I left the church, I became a revolutionary
Mm,
because the consciousness of the world changed.
yeah.
It became more volatile,
Yeah.
and all the things that had been hush hush, pushed to the side, um, people left unrepresented.
Right.
Poetry is the voice of the voice of people that can't talk or
Right.
don't know what to say or
Right.
don't know how to put what they're feeling in the world.
Right.
So when the world changed, it actually changed uh after for us here in St. Louis after 19 after 2014. 2014, the
Yeah.
whole world was
Mm,
shaken, and the that's when I left the church. I was guided to, I said, this, I've learned what I needed to learn here. It's
right.
like every part of a person's life has a
Mm,
lesson to learn because you build on top of all the things that you know and do, and something else come along and it's
right.
time for you to learn that. So
Mm,
my education on learning different ways to help people,
yeah.
I became a Reiki master.
Yeah.
Well, actually, a Reiki Master Teacher.
Yeah.
I got my BSN in nursing,
Yeah.
and I did those kind of at the same time. And I learned to see with a different perspective, not just um, a person standing by the lamp pole.
Right.
I would think about what I wouldn't know what they had gone through. What had their day been like?
Right.
Was it a happy day? Was it a sad day? Was
Right.
it one that they had needed something that they was out of reach?
Right.
And were they frustrated? Were they just tired?
Right.
But you don't just see a person, you see
Mm,
around the person and you can kind of feel their energy.
right. Right.
And after I left the church, I wanted to learn about my roots. And I did that in this movement that I'm in now. And
Yeah.
if you get to read the forward to the book, it tells in a way what I'm doing right now and what
Wow.
the future books will be about. Um, this was the first book, like I said,
Yeah.
when I
Mm,
made a promise that I would live with no regrets. It was
mm,
after the passing of my mom last Christmas.
right.
And I was said I wanted to write a book for this year to release and three others that will be released 6 months apart.
Right.
And after that, I should be pretty well. So
Beautiful.
I said, I have in June, I hadn't written a word. I said, now how can I write a book? And I haven't even started. And I was reminded of the book that God had given me.
Yeah.
Uh, he said, I gave you a book. Now watch me. He said, follow me and you got to be obedient.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
to be obedient and in what is the word? You have to be present in the
Mm,
moment.
mm, yeah.
So I was obedient, and in 3 months we had the book ready. And I've already started working on the next two. So uplifted is not only me coming through the clouds to see the
Mm,
sun, like the
mhm.
book, like
Right.
the cape, the front of the book. It's me seeing the world and putting it in words and putting it in books. Everybody can write. There are a
Mm,
million great, great, great writers, great poets, great teachers, but this book is, I didn't think it was my best work. But
yeah.
then I remembered it's not my work, it's the work that came through me.
Right.
When you do Reiki healing, the energy comes through you. The healing energy comes through your body as like electric is plugged into the wall and it's into my iPad. But I'm a conduit for
Mm,
the healing.
yeah.
And it's not only healing me, but it's healing the person that it's meant for.
Right.
This book was given to me, and now is the time for it to come out. It wasn't in 2011 and 2013 when I printed the first my own self-made copy
Right.
published. It wasn't time. Now is the time, because now the world needs to read it and think about other people. That's
Mm,
what it's about. And
mm,
write down your thoughts. Write them down because they're your thoughts.
right.
Nobody can say, I don't want to hear your opinion. They don't have to hear your opinion, but you got to get it out. And
Right.
this book give people the license to write their opinion. And it's
Right.
their workbook. It don't teach poetry. It don't teach how to write it. It don't teach how to read it. But what it does, it teaches about the poetry of people.
Right. Ah, yes. It's truly, truly inspiring. And I'm really um almost like pausing here, listening to you about the compassion. It's very generous too. So like the mountain, I see like you seeing from the top of, you have that top of the mountain view, so you're able to, which obviously is coming from spirit. That's the only eyes that can see, right, have that broader view. And then you
Thank
translate in there into beautiful work of love. Really, I call it the work of love. So yes, I mean, I love everything about your work and the way
you.
you speak about it too. It's very, because I know it's not easy to do this work. So I see the humility in you too, to say, oh, it's coming through me. It's not really something. So when
Right.
I hear that, I also hear, of course, wisdom. I hear timeless wisdom and divine transmission, because it's so, so true that we are conduits. We are just temples, right?
Yeah,
Vehicles for that expression. We are not really what we think we are, although some of us
exactly.
do think. So you
Fun-
mentioned, oh, yes, yes, yeah, please.
Funny you should say we're not who we think we are.
Mhm.
I've got a couple of pieces in here where people look
Mhm.
in the mirror to see what they see when they really see something else
Yeah.
that's deeper. And they either see their real self or they see the self that they think they are. And one of them is from my friend Melanie. She said, I look in the mirror and I see God. I see the
Wow.
God in me and his expression through me. So
Yes.
that's one of the poems in here.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love to hear that one. But
Yeah.
before, I would love for you to that first question that I asked about a poem that changed your own path, and then you spoke of two. So you read one, we talked about one, but there's another one. So
Yes.
yes, please.
After 2013, I put the book away and I've been writing and writing and writing.
Mm.
I pulled the book back up when I decided to get it republished.
Yeah.
This one piece, I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
It's called When I Was Steve. And I
Mm.
say, let me read that. And I read it and I
Mm.
remembered it. It hit me like, wow. I remember
Uh-huh.
writing it. It
Yeah.
it, it was amazing. Because
Yes.
it's been like, what, 14 years?
Right.
Since 12, 13 years since I read these poems
Right.
and got into them.
Mm.
This one is When I Was Steve.
Yes. Yes.
When I was Steve, a bundle of joy, fat face and healthy baby boy.
Mm.
The newspaper article said about me, a waiting, a loving home, this happy baby. The family I have has taken good care of me. They're proud of the man I've grown to be.
Mm.
A feeling of not looking like the ones I know. Blood ties just didn't seem to show. Now I search for the one who gave me birth, the one who from mine 9 months loved me first. A hug, a kiss, to see your face, to experience my first mother's embrace, to
Mm.
actually see your smile, open information from my closed file. I need to whisper how much I love you, and by giving me up, you love me too. You
Right.
love me, you love me enough to keep me safe by putting me in a better place. I
Mm.
have 5 siblings older than I. To find them too, I wish to try. Just to know someone other than me with the same eyes, nose, and lips I can see. I'm not alone in this quest. Every adopted child must confess the desire to know who brought them to earth, to meet the woman who gave them birth. I have no blame and no shame. I do not I do have a new name. I'm Ron Williams. This is true. My mom, I'm looking for you. Or anyone who might remember from before. The newspaper article said about me, awaiting a loving home, this happy baby. Fat face and healthy baby boy.
Mm.
When I was Steve, a bundle of joy.
Oh my God, I love that. That's a beautiful poem. Wow.
Thank you.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful poem.
And
You
the
know,
fable to
yeah,
go with that, if
yeah,
someone wants to understand, is
yeah.
to know who is on the other end of the umbilical cord before it is cut is a profound truth. A child is loved even before drawing the first breath. The bond is unbreakable, woven by nature and sustained by spirit.
Mm.
There are many reasons a mother may give up her child. None of them are simple to face, neither to the mother nor the child. For the child, it becomes a lifetime of wondering at endless seas of questions and waves that raise and fall but never entirely fade. When a mother gives away her child, she gives away a part of her own soul. That invisible tether, that chain of spiritual connection remains for life. The African proverbs say that the spirit of a child chooses its parents before conception,
Mm.
knowing the qualities it will inherit from them to complete its journey on earth. This choice is not about who raises the child, but about the very fabric of the DNA, the makeup, the shapes, and the path ahead. Ron Williams, an adopted child, once spoke of the lost space many adoptees feel. The question asks for connection to their birth family. He his longing is not born from a lack of love from his adopted parents. Rather, it is the yearning to know his beginning, to see the face connected to the first heartbeat and first breath. It is the search for the other end of the cord. Yet God placed each of us where we are meant to be, when we were meant to be there. Finding space and loving ourselves is a truth that does not always depend on knowing the roots of the beginning. Sometimes truest root is found in the mirror. For
Right.
some, the question remains unanswered, echoing quietly through life. The search for completion is alive in all of us, sometimes louder, sometimes quiet, but always there. Ultimately, the answer must rest in the heart of the searcher. God has placed, God has a purpose for each life, and perhaps the purpose itself is the deepest root we must learn to accept.
Wow.
That's when I was Steve.
Right. Yeah, I clearly see also a connection between those two poems. That there's this the presence of the mother, the baby, the mother. Yeah, that's something that's calling my attention. So, as a metaphor, I always think about babies as innocence, like this innocence itself, purity, like being pure. So, and I see clearly. I mean, it's obvious to me, yeah, why those are your favorites. Talk to me for a moment about the inspiration for this poem specifically, and also how it has changed your life, Deborah. In what ways?
This poem was written, I traveled with a group of poets in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
and they were all younger than me. They were the ages of my children. So
Nice.
they called me Mama Poet.
Yeah. Ah.
Um, I watched each child, each poet, and how they move through life and how they move through period. Because they were in some of them late 20s, some of them mid 20s, some of them early 30s,
Right.
and I just watched them along with like watching my kids. I collect a lot of kids, you
Right.
know.
Right. Oh, I see.
And
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one, when he told me his
Uh-huh.
story
Hmm.
about being adopted,
Yeah.
that was not my, I didn't know this. It
Right.
was something I saw in him, and his protection of his mom, his birth mom, and his living mom. When I say living, the one he lives with.
Right.
Um, and he was always searching, but I didn't know what he was searching for.
Right.
And when he told me about that, and I wrote that poem, all he told me was about the caption in the newspaper,
Right.
and the rest of it came from just talking to him and for the need for I could envision a either a parent that had to give up her child
Right.
or a parent that adopted a child,
Right.
uh, the child itself and the other siblings. It's a loss and a gain for the whole both families,
Right. True.
and the siblings how they deal with it if
Yeah.
they were adopted
Right.
or not.
Right.
Give have going growing up and finding out you had a brother somewhere else that you knew nothing about.
Right.
Those are
Mm.
bone crushing. I call it
Mm. Mm.
bone crushing questions.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and what
Yeah.
they're going through. I was not adopted, so I cannot put myself to see how they live, what
Right.
they deal with, how it reflects in their life every day.
Yeah.
But if
Mm.
they can learn that they are where they are because that's where God needed them to be. Like I
Mm.
said, it's sometimes not the parent that gave you the DNA on both sides,
Right.
but that's what you needed to do. You chose them because you know what your struggle would be.
Right.
here, or your blessing to do here on earth. And
Right.
if they couldn't raise you, it's the guidance, the love, the influence of the parents that do raise you.
Yeah.
That's where value comes in, to being the person that you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Everything is like my mother used to do quilting.
Ah.
She would take a something off, an old dress, an old shirt, a pair of pants. Those things would come together in a quilt.
Yeah.
The purpose was for warmth,
Mm.
the warmth of the love that God put in that child.
Yeah.
This is your mother, this is your father, but you need to go somewhere else to be raised with
Right.
other things to make you the person that you are.
Right.
It's a whole big thing, but just to be where you're supposed to be
Mm.
and make the best by being grounded in here on earth and where you are.
Mm.
Make every day count
Mm.
and know that regardless to who mothered or fathered you, you got support with the people and love.
Yes. 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 Ah, I love that.
Thank you.
Um, wow. So you really go very deep into, yeah, some topics you, because I'm feeling it, everything. So I'm just wondering,
Thank
like that's I think that's the purpose of the art that you make, right? It's that transmission again of feelings, emotions, of truth, of healing, transformation,
you. Yes.
uplift. See the word uplifted.
Uplifting.
Yeah. um, and I see very much the essence, the foundation being compassion. You're a very compassionate person.
Thank you.
So I can see that like immediately. The moment we met, even before that, like, oh, she's like a big mother. She's a mother.
Yeah.
Of course, I can relate to it because I'm very similar. Although I
Yeah.
never had children, I never have children,
Oh,
but yeah, but I have collected a lot of children. Like you say, I love the way you say that
yes.
too. Collect a
Yes.
lot of children along the way, right? That right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely love everything that you are doing. I know you are on a path here that this is the first book. So FoFeet Fables, uplifted from the fifth. That's the first book, but then
Yeah.
a lot more coming. Do you want to talk? We're almost at the end, but I would love to hear a little bit more about the next ones. Would you like to
Okay.
give us a glimpse of that magic?
Um, I had started one. I was gonna make it Fables Book Two,
Yeah,
which was in the same style as this one. You get a poem, a
yeah,
fable, and some place to write.
right.
But I started it, and for some reason, it wasn't time for it. This weekend, I went to visit my god sister,
Yeah.
and we've been god sisters for over 50 years.
Mm,
And
mm.
during Sunday morning, I got up and I felt like it's not time for that book.
Ah,
I got another one that I had started. It's a trilogy, three
yeah.
folds. It's three separate books about three separate African women at three different stages.
Mm.
But it's called Meet Lucy.
Yeah, I like that.
Lucy is written on the
Mm.
premise of the skeletal remains from Lucy that this British archaeologist found in Ethiopia.
Oh,
And from the description of the report, it was a short statured skeletal, maybe 4.5 feet,
right.
but it had been there for centuries. They don't know how long, but the way it was preserved is remarkable.
Wow.
And there was just some areas that were not in place because of animals nibbling,
Right.
but basically the skeleton was whole, and
Wow.
they don't know where it come from. They don't know when it got there,
Right.
or what it was, or who it was. But the man that found it, he was in love with Lucy in the Sky by the Beatles,
Mm.
and he called that skeleton Lucy.
Yeah.
By it being found in Ethiopia, and he calling it a female. I'm my my premise for this book is all African women, all women with melanin,
Mm.
were daughters of Lucy.
Oh, wow.
They've
Yeah.
got the character of
Mm.
resilience,
Mm.
courage, um, fortitude, wisdom, stubbornness,
Yes.
just all of the things that make women
Mm.
invincible.
Right. Right.
You know, all of the characters of loving, strong strength, all of these characters. So I wrote a story for each one.
Yeah.
Meet Lucy is a trilogy, and there'll be at least 200 pages each,
Right.
but they won't come out in one book, in one um, volume.
Yes.
It'll be book one, book two, and book three in this trilogy.
Right.
And Lucy's are a combination
Mm.
of events that different people have that I made them Lucy's.
Right.
The second one, the first one is an adult with grown children.
Yeah.
The and her life path. The second one, first one is Inferno.
Mm.
The second one is Twisted. She's a younger woman, maybe 23, 25, in that range.
Right.
And she follows her lineage. Our parents got together and what was happening in the world
Right.
around that time. And that one is a dated book. I mean, it's a dated, it goes back in history,
Right.
and it follows um, the Panther, Fred Hampton. It's connected to that time in history.
Right.
And the last one is the following of a child, a
Mm.
baby girl
Mm.
that's born within the movement,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
what conspires around her to bring her into adulthood. But the connecting of all three of these is two things. Once One, there will be a figure in each one of them's storyline, which will be Lucy,
Right.
or the spirit around, that's a
Mm.
person is carrying the spirit of Lucy that keeps all of them together.
Right.
And at the end of each one, they will become involved with the revolutionary organization that
Yeah.
they all are connected with.
Wow.
And they'll come in at different times in their life, but in the very, very end, they all meet up
Yeah.
at one of the meetings where they'll get to experience the full connection of some of the times that we're going through now, that where there's a balance of energy
Mm.
going on in the world.
Mm. Yeah.
um every day there is something going on. um
True.
it's making us people stop and say, what is happening,
Right.
what is going on. This book will kind of be a female view of what's happening in the world, and what
Mm.
everyday people can connect with. And wow, she's amazing, she
Yeah.
did this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Lucy. And
Right. I
Lucy
love
is
that.
spelled with Luci.
Yes, Alice. I mean that's it. That's a beautiful idea. It just came
Now,
to you all at once, Deborah.
no, I
Oh,
started writing Lucy in night. Okay, I did Uplifted in 2013. Then I left the church and I started following the political movement of the world.
right.
And after about
Mm,
6 months, wait a minute, maybe 4 or 5 months in the organization, I sit up and I started writing about Lucy. And I
yeah.
wrote the first one in 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
I started the second one. I got halfway in the second one, and I did an outline of the third one.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, within the story,
Yeah.
there's poems in
Yeah.
certain sections of
Yeah.
of the story.
Right.
So I'm in the process between now and the middle of January to finish all three, and we'll have them released one at a time.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
But the
Uh,
next set of FoFeet fables
yeah.
will be it's called Uhuru Call Me Free,
Mm, mm,
which is a
mm,
collection of political poetry, and the fable will be just like these. It's something to explain what was the birth of that
mm.
poem,
Right.
what was going on in the world at that time to bring about that poetry.
Right.
What was the world seeing? What was the world doing? What was the
Right.
big question?
Mm,
And it'll cover the last 12 years so far, but it's not time for it to be put to, put to press. So I'm sure it's going to tell the political story of this time in our
mm,
life. And
right.
I want it where there's a page or two, maybe not 3 pages, but 2 pages for people to write.
Yeah.
And it can be used as a historical book
Right.
for people, young people, to read, look back and see what was going on in the world.
Mm,
Because
mm,
poetry is a poetic description of the world at the time of the poetry.
right. It makes sense.
So that will be my, maybe after Lucy series,
Hmm.
I'll get that done. I want that one, I should have done by September.
Right. September of next year. Oh,
Yes.
wow. You're really onto something here.
Yes,
You're
yes.
into something amazing and beautiful, meaningful, deep, and yes, political, right? Because it
Yes.
has that's the part of justice is something that I'm really interested in too. How can we, especially women, for us women, I know that they, and then there are different kinds of women of color like myself, you, and the indigenous I mean, there's just so much. I could not believe it. I come from Brazil, and when I came here I was so naive, and I saw the separation. I went to the community college, and I see all groups in the same room, classroom. They're sitting in different, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why aren't we all together, kind of having this? And that shocked me really when I came into in this country. It was a huge shock.
It it is I had questions. I didn't meet the revolution until I was 60 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I had questions all that time that I didn't have answers to.
Right.
And when I heard the speaker, the chairman, speak about the history and why we're in the position we're in now, why people live the way they do in different parts of the
Mm,
world, not just here in the United States, but different parts of the world.
right.
The same depression, the same suffrage, the
Mm,
same difference
yeah.
can be found anywhere in the world. And
That's
why? It's because you can find African people everywhere in the world.
right.
And the
Right.
one thing that is profound is
Yeah.
the fact that we're all living under the same constraints, regardless of where we are.
Mm,
One
mm.
person can say something about every. First of all, everything is political.
Yeah,
Where you
that's true.
shop, where your kids go to school, where
Mm,
you the church you go to, or if you don't go to church,
right.
everything is political. And
Mm,
it all stems from the fact that um,
wow.
in 1400, Europe was falling. It wasn't even Europe then, it was just different countries. They were falling and they were failing. The people were dying. They needed to know, they didn't know what to do. The priests, wait a minute, not the priests. I can't think of the name of the group, but uh, they were going to Africa, bringing back black bodies to
Ah,
do the work,
right.
to to do the work. That was their workforce,
Yeah,
and to turn it into a commodity,
yeah.
they had to dehumanize African people.
Right,
The word,
right.
what is it? I went to Ghana and I
Mm,
went through the slave castles,
yeah,
and the word mulatto,
a lot. Mm-hmm.
I found out what that meant.
Yeah.
They were calling the African people animals, and
Ah,
if they were mixed with um,
mm, mm,
Portuguese or other people, other
yeah,
Europeans,
race.
then they were called mulatto, which was half human.
Wow.
And those mulattoes back then, some of them killed themselves because they had to see they were over their real blood brothers and sisters, and some of them they had to kill, some of them they had to beat,
Wow.
some of them they had to sell,
Right.
and that they couldn't handle it. Some of them killed themselves.
Wow.
But I said mulatto means half human,
Wow.
and when they had to be, black people had to be stripped of humanity so that the people that was capturing them
Yeah.
would not feel bad. It
Right.
gave them license to form out and use people as cattle.
God. Yeah.
After they had murdered the indigenous people from this country
Yeah.
and taken their land and starved them and pushed them into reservations, which
Right.
is nothing but
Mm,
prison,
yeah.
is for control and it's for power. And that little thing that nobody talked about for over 600 years
Yeah.
now is coming back to bite
Mm,
them.
mm,
People are tired of being pushed around, dehumanized, their land taken, their resources stripped from their hands.
right.
To people are tired of
Yeah.
being pushed around and bullied.
It's time.
So it's time. It is time.
Yeah.
And I am in this position right now to bring light to that,
Mm,
to put it into words, to put it into poetry,
yeah.
and then write the story around it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But this book, Uplifted, is
Yeah.
the beginning to push me up through the cloud, and
Mm,
I can see now.
mm,
Now it was so profound that you said sometimes people are not ready to hear the message.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Then guess what? Now's the time. Now's the
Mm,
time for uplifting. FoFeet fables. Meet Lucy.
mm,
Uhuru is
mm.
Swahili for freedom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the short story, and this is
Yeah.
gonna be one of the first ones in that book.
Yeah.
I was I've always been sensitive to energy, and I was still in the church at that time,
Right.
2011.
Right.
My friend took artists. She wanted to take a group of artists to Ghana to experience it for the first time,
Yeah.
going home for the first time. But it was ended up being just she and myself.
Yeah.
And we were at one of the health villages where one of the husband and wife from New York went to Africa and bought land, and they
Mm.
had cabins built for people to come in and stay, and just to be
Yeah.
there. So we were there the second night, and the music was playing, and people were having a good time. And here I was hearing stuff.
Ah,
I'm hearing this. What's going on? It was nothing going on there, but it was going on around me.
right.
And as I was looking out over into the ocean, there were trees. It was a beautiful
Oh,
scene.
yeah, I can imagine.
And I saw things. I saw two images lift something and throw it into the water.
Wow. Yeah.
And I say, okay, what is this? Is this for me to see what's going on?
I.
I started seeing, it was a young girl, about 15. It was about to be her 16th birthday.
Yeah.
And in the village, they were preparing for a party.
Right.
Her father was the king of the village. And him and some warriors had left to come back later that evening.
Right.
But before they got back, some other villagers came in and just destroyed the village and took the
Oh,
young people.
right.
So she was one of the ones that they took. But she kept saying, "My father's coming, my father's
Mhm.
coming." And they
Yeah.
didn't care. They took her anyway. They were on their way to Cape Coast to get ready to put people on the ships.
Right.
So every night they stopped, she would run away. She said,
Mm.
"My father's looking for me. I've got to find him and tell him what's going on."
Right.
She was relentless. Every night she would run away. They would catch her and bring her back.
Yeah.
They did that like 4 or 5 nights in a row.
Yeah.
As they got closer to Cape Coast, maybe one night, the next day they would have got there. So she waited late as she could and she ran away. The area that we were sitting in is where they caught her.
Ah.
They beat her, they raped her, and they almost killed her. But the guy said, "You want to go back to your village? This follow the current." And they took her and they threw her into the ocean.
Wow.
So as she was floating downstream, she said to me, "Call me free." Because
Mm.
she was not going to the castle. She was going to die before. She was going to get to her father. So if that was the way she had to go, that was what happened.
Yeah.
And she kept trying to tell me her name. I said, "What's your name? What's your name?" She kept telling me, but I couldn't understand it. She
Right.
said, "Call me free."
Yeah.
2 years, let me see, that was 11, 12, 13. 4 years later, I run across the Uhuru movement. And Uhuru is Swahili for freedom.
Right.
Her name was Uhuru. And
Ah.
as I go put, that
Mm.
vision is in me.
Right.
I found the Uhuru movement. And I said, did I meet myself at another time?
Mm.
Was that girl me
Mm.
in this time?
Yeah.
Because time is parallel.
Right. Right.
Is that me? And
Right.
did I meet myself in Uhuru?
Right. Right.
So this is
Wow.
the work I was supposed to do.
Huh. Wow. That's
And that's
wow.
going to be the first story in the Uhuru Call Me Free.
Right. Oh,
And
that's
that's going to be a group of poetry, political poetry about what's been happening in this world.
right. Oh my God, Deborah. Um, I could just stay here for the rest of my life with you, just listening. That's what I really, really love. I can hide it anymore. I mean, I have been doing this for 10 years now, and now it's kind of culminating to something else that is storytelling. I mean, I can't wait to
Right.
have you here. Just
Ooh, I
coming
can't
and
wait to come.
yeah, and just doing this, telling stories. That's what we are. And that's how the ancient. That's very ancient. A very ancient way of passing on culture and wisdom. The indigenous cultures
Yeah.
and the African. I mean, we all know that in civilizations, it's storytelling is one of
Yes.
the most potent ways of doing that. Thank you
Yes.
so much again for your beautiful presence, for everything that you are offering to this reality, this world. I know it's parallel, you're right. If we change it
Yeah.
here, we are changing other realities too, so everything's connected. Thank
And that's
you.
our goal. Our goal is to see a better world
Right.
because this one has to come down and
Mm,
we have to build. But it can't do it with one person. It
right,
takes a unit, it
right,
takes like minded people. You
right,
may not agree about how you do it or how
mhm,
it's done, but the idea is to get it done
right.
by any means necessary, by all means necessary.
Yes, a billion times that truth. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the
So,
opportunity to share this moment. I am in love with
mm.
a spirit that seems like.
The spirit that
Thank you
sees
so
itself.
much.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. So I want to mention the website again. It's FoFeet.net. They will be here on the podcast notes and after the video as well. I want to thank you again. And I want to meet you one of these days. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes.
Yeah. We'll talk
I
soon.
look forward to coming to Hawaii just to be in that class.
Yes. So aloha. Aloha to you. And
Yeah.
we'll meet soon. Bye for now, Deborah. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.